The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I asked y'all to drop me questions. Y'all did, so let's go. I'll start with Big Brother. He said, roast Urban Meyer for his comments on Big Noon kickoff before the game. So on Big Noon kickoff, Urban Meyer was basically saying Michigan is kind of on upset alert against Nebraska, and they talking about Nebraska's run defense and stuff like that. And it's a test for Michigan. Yeah, we got your test. We gonna test your jaw. That's gonna be the test. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Urban, what was he else was he saying? He was saying that Michigan, our schedule's easy. You know, our schedule's easy. You don't get better, you know, not playing better competition. And that could be true, but, you know, obviously we are getting better. Obviously we are getting more healthy, you know. And basically that's the Ohio State and Urban Meyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michigan's ranked number 2 for a reason. You can say, oh, the polls don't matter and stuff. There's a reason we're ranked number 2, because we're loaded. Ready to shoot. All right. All right. We loaded. That clip is full, and we letting it loose. You know, most of these teams only have a chance if Michigan plays bad. Michigan just has to play bad for them to have a chance. If Michigan plays good, it's a wrap for you. And it's going to get ugly like it did in Nebraska, whether Urban Meyer likes it or not. Yeah, boy, you wishing Michigan ain't what everybody thought they was, you can kiss that goodbye, because we is. You know what I'm saying? So he can kiss that goodbye. You better get ready, because it's for real. So we'll see you in November. You know what I'm saying? You hoping, oh, they ain't, I don't think they haven't played that well. And, okay, we gonna see y'all in November. But you hoping one of these lower level teams beat us, boy, you can kiss that goodbye. So let's get on next question. POTUS said, what are your thoughts on Jaden Danagel possibly being the guy next season? He has the build and clearly the arm talent to be the guy. I'm not sure about that. You know, next year, if JJ leaves, what do you got? Jaden Davis, if he comes, young dude, probably does need the red shirt. Jaden Danagel, Alex Orji, Donovan Warren, I believe, or Davis Warren. Warren, I don't know his first name. I always get it confused. But, yeah, out of them, you know, we all love Alex Orji. Right now, he's hurt. You know, Danagel's got some nice stuff. I haven't seen enough of him to say that I would want him to start next year. He's got the build. He's got the body. You know, he's got the arm. But I haven't seen him do enough in actual games to say, yeah, we should ride with him, honestly. You know, so right now, if I had a pick of guys on the roster, I would go with Orji, because I think there's a lot you could do with him being a freight train running that ball. You know, if you want to dial it back and say we just going to be the best running team in the nation, running him, Donovan if he comes back, and whoever else is in the backfield, you know, you could do that. Let's see. Next question. Jack Package says, do you think the O-line's drastic improvement is because Hinton was out? Probably. Hinton has not showed that he's good, really. You know what I'm saying? So the offensive line looked very good yesterday. Like, regardless whether it was pass, run, they looked good. And I think that's the lineup they need to go with without Hinton. They looked very good. Same type of question. First First place record says, do you think our O-line is best with Nugent, Zenner, Keegan, Barnhart, and Henderson as the starters? Yes, I do. I think that's the lineup. Miles Hinton hasn't showed any reasons for him to be starting, really. In game. I don't know what he does in practice. In practice, he might be a baller, but practice ain't the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. So I think that is the lineup. At Big Brother says, react to Penn State against Northwestern. It was 10-10 at halftime after Penn State scored with about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Penn State's very beatable. If you've got a potent offense, you could probably beat Penn State. You know, if you got a good defense, potent offense, I mean, that's a kind of a complete team. If you got a complete team, you can beat them. Plus, if you're big in the trenches, because Penn State is small in the trenches, you can give them problems. And their run game hasn't been as good as people thought it would be. So you shut that down, put the game on Alar to beat you by himself. Ball game, you know, same. Honestly, the Penn State, the only difference between this year and last year to me is the clock. If they can sustain some drives, even if they score or not, kill that clock to shorten the game, that's their biggest chance. But the game plan for Michigan is the same. We're going to shut down your running backs, force your quarterback to beat us. He won't be able to do it going against that you get nothing defensive scheme with the blitzes, the zone blitzes and the crazy zone coverages and mixed in with man. He won't be able to do it consistently enough to win. So the game plan is still the same, and Penn State looks beatable. You know, a Minnesota or somebody, you know, they not going to be able to beat them most likely because they don't have enough talent. Somebody like that. But if you got enough talent, boy, we could beat y'all. Y'all looking very beatable. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking very beatable to a team like Michigan. Let's see. Adam Smith says, do you think Mullen should split reps or get more reps than Edwards behind Corum? I wouldn't say that just yet. I mean, if he comes out this next game and he's toting it like he was against Nebraska, I think then it's time to see, you know, but I wouldn't say that just yet. You know, Mullins had that 20-some yard run that he took it to the end zone. You know, that when you get a run like that and you don't get that many carries, it's going to make your stats look not real nice. So I wouldn't just take Edwards carries just yet. After next game, if Mullins continues to look like he did against Nebraska, Edwards continues to struggle, then I would think about it. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, Edwards, to me, they just need to use him more in the pass game. And honestly, I'd use him at punt return. I'd use him at kick return. Not sure why they're not trying to use him. If I was them, I'd just use him everywhere. I'd use him everywhere so he gets touches and gets the chance to, get the ball with some space. That's how I'd use him. I wouldn't hold him back. I'd use him in other ways because he's still explosive. It's just his timing with the offensive line and stuff, it's just not coming together right now for whatever reason. Let's see. P. Maximus says, after 5 games, who is our second wide receiver? I can't count on Cornelius Johnson and Loveland is a tight end. Right now, it's Cornelius by default. Right now, Cornelius Johnson is the number 2 by default because he'll have a game where he's non-existent. Then next game, he could have a game like he did against Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You just need him to be right now. He doesn't have to be right now. He doesn't have to be just killing teams. We just need him there. We need Cornelius to make sure he shows up Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State. Those are the most important times for him to really show up, just in case, Roman is getting doubled or whatever. That's when we really need him to show up. Right now, dude could probably not get any catches up until that point, and we'll probably still won't even notice it because we'll be still winning by 2 and 3 scores. Honestly, it'd be nice if he was showing up consistently, but right now, a couple things. Right now, the way JJ is spreading it around, Donovan Edwards gets 3 catches, 4 catches. Loveland gets 2 or 3. Roman gets about 4. Cornelius might get 1 or 2 or none. Barner gets 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? Blake might get 1. Samaj Morgan might get 1, and Carmelo English might get 1 or something, or Tyler Morris might get 1 or 2, just like Darius Clemens had a nice catch the other game. The way he's spreading it around, it ain't that you ain't gonna get that many chances, honestly, unless you getting open like Roman. Roman's just working dudes where he's getting open, where you can almost count on him to be open. But besides that, Loveland's going to get his because he's going to be in those check downs, and, it's just easy pickings. He's right there in front of the quarterback for an easy 6 yards. He's huge. Oh, he breaks the tackle and gets 8 or 9 or even 10, so that's the thing. But we need Cornelius to be Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. That's when we need him to show up at the end of the season, basically, for sure. But to answer your question, number 2 it's Cornelius by default. Nobody else is consistent enough. Even though he's not that consistent, he's the most consistent we've got besides Roman. That's an actual wide receiver. But, Darius Clemens is coming back. We'll see how he progresses. Because that was a nice catch he had yesterday. Let's see. Michael Burden, appreciate the comment. He says, what are your thoughts on Alex Orji? Hopefully he has not hit the transfer portal. They say he's hurt right now. So that's what they're saying. All we can go on is what they tell us. So right now he's just hurt. So that's the reason you haven't seen him really he's battling injuries. That's all we can go on right now, Big Brother said, should Roman Wilson be in the Biletnikoff, Blake Corum, and the Doak Walker discussion? They are tied for the lead in receiving TDs and rushing TDs with 8 each. I think they're up there because when you got that many TDs, you're going to be up there. They go by semifinalists and all that stuff. They're going to keep going. They're going to stay in that range. They just have to get the yards to catch up with the touchdowns. Because I know right now they probably don't have as many yards as other players, but they've got a ton of touchdowns. So they just have to, once we get into further along in the season, when they have to have those yards, they're gonna have to put up big numbers in those crucial games, or they're gonna have to have a game where they have to just a big time game. And that usually comes when you're in a battle, a grudge match or whatever, That's when it usually happens, when you're in a tight game and Blake has to go for 200. He gets the carries and he goes for 203 TDs or something. Roman is in the zone and he goes for 175, 200. That can, that catches you up having a game like that. So the way things are going right now and the way JJ is spreading it around and we're using all these backs, they're going to have a game where they're clicking, because we could probably go all the way up until Penn State without these dudes having to have huge games. So they're going to have a game where they're just clicking and it's a blowout, but they're just clicking. It's a blowout and Blake has 150 and 3 TDs. it's a blowout and Roman has 150 and 3 TDs, or 200 and, you know what I'm saying? 175 and 3 TDs. They're going to have a couple games like that because the way the schedule is looking and the way this team is playing on offense and defense, it probably ain't going to be too many tight games. I'm just keeping it 100. So you're going to have to, when you're in there, they're going to have to put up some numbers to continue to stay up there. Just having touchdowns ain't going to cut it. You're going to need you're going to have to have the yards with it. Let's see. T-Bird says, do you think Donovan is being impatient and letting the holes develop? Do you think he needs to start running a little more angrier? He's falling on first contact. I think yes to both of those. I think Donovan does need to be a little more patient. I think he's antsy. Khalil Mullins scored a touchdown this year before Donovan. You team guy and it's all about the team. Bro, I know he was like, bruh, I can't believe this dude got a touchdown from me. I already know he was like that. Because he was, who was that scored a touchdown and he was thinking like, dang, they scored before me. When Samaj Morgan got the touchdown last week, he said he was thinking that, but it's all good. I want everybody to, but these guys are human. They want to put up stats. So I know he's thinking about it, but he has to be patient. When you're patient, it'll come. If you press and rush and you're thinking about it too much, you're going to make mistakes. When Donovan exploded at the end of the last year from Penn State on, and then when Corum got hurt, he was patient. He was a patient runner. You have to be patient in this scheme. Khalil Mullins on his touchdown yesterday, he got the handoff. He did a little stutter step, slow paced it, and then the offensive line parted like the Red Sea. Gaping hole, and he just, jogged to a 20-yard touchdown. You know what I'm saying? But it was his patience that got him the touchdown because he let his blocks develop. And that's probably why you're seeing Mullins getting more carries in the game, because in practice he's probably being patient and those holes are developing for him. So now he's getting he's understanding the scheme, and now he's getting the carries because of that. It's the same way with CJ Stokes last year. He had holes and stuff that would develop, but he wasn't patient. He was hitting them too hard. Now Donovan is doing that. He's rushing it. You have to be patient in this scheme. You can't get the handoff and rush it. You have to slow pace it and then explode through. He's rushing it a little bit now. Does he need to run angrier? Oh, definitely. He definitely needs. If I was a Donovan, when I'm getting those dive carries, and it's not like a counter, and it's not like a counter or something like that, or those duo to the outsides and stuff like that. Bro, when I'm getting those dives, bro, I'd be smashing dudes. Bro, you mad about not getting your yardage? Don't talk about it. Take it out on somebody you can take it out, and you supposed to take it out on them. Just like yesterday. He got a handoff. It was actually a good carry. He went around the outside, but he tried to stiff arm. He did a soft stiff arm. It was one of the softest stiff arms I've ever seen. So he's going to the outside around the left side, and he does this soft stiff arm if he's going out of bounds. And dude freaking hits him and smashes him into the ground. Like, bro, you should be trying to punish these dudes. As little production you got, you should be trying to take it out on the defense. You know what I'm saying? You should be trying to take it out on them. That's just how I think you should do it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not happy about something, you play the one sport where you can take it out on your opponent physically. I'm mad. I don't care what I'm mad about. Guess what? I'm taking it out on you. I'm mad about my grades. I'm mad about this professor at school keep pissing me off. Guess what? Taking it out on you. My girlfriend getting on my nerves. Guess what? Taking it out on you. My parents getting on my nerves. Too bad for you. I'm giving it to you today for them. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Somebody cut me off while I was driving to the game. Taking it out on you. You know what I'm saying? Use that anger. One thing that Don Brown said, and it's true. What did he say? I can't remember the quote. Something about take your anger out. Use that anger and aggression and take it out on your opponent. Why not? You're playing football. So if I'm mad about anything in my life, I'm using it to fuel my fire. If I was him, I'd be thinking about Donovan Edwards isn't this. And I'm using it to fuel my fire. I'm going to show you. You fans talking about Mullen should get more carries than me. I'm going to show y'all. Watch me. That's how you got to use it. Everything in anybody great. I was listening to Tom Brady. I'm sorry to rant, but this is relevant. I was listening to Tom Brady the other day, and he said the same thing that Michael Jordan say. You use everything, anybody that doubted you, everything you can use to fuel your passion and your game, you use it. No matter if it's somebody stepping on your foot, you mad. I took that personal. I'm taking it out on my opponent. You stepped on my foot. So that's the mindset you have to have. And I think he does need to have that mindset because you're playing a physical position in a physical sport where you can take it out. Go out there and hit somebody, dog. You should be running angry. Not looking for the sideline. No, it's time to finish runs. It's time to get that blood flowing and instill some pain on the team. I ain't getting my stats. Well, you finna pay for it. I don't care if I get 5 yards. You gonna pay for me getting 5 yards. That's how you have to think. At least that's how I think. Let's see. Jay Marion, appreciate the comment, says, do you think he's got 3 questions. So, do you think Penn State is a little overrated? I noticed late in the fourth quarter, they run up the score on teams, making the score look misleading. Yeah, I think Penn State is a little overrated. But, with the Big Ten, it's all going to, just the same way some of these other conferences, like the Pac-12, it's all going to work itself out because we got to play each other. So, if Penn State is overrated, they going to get their chance. They play Michigan, they play Ohio State. They want to prove they're not overrated. They got the chance. People saying Michigan is overrated because we haven't played anybody. Well, let's just wait. We gonna find out. So Michigan goes to Penn State and Michigan plays Ohio State. We're gonna find out who's overrated and who's not. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, Penn State, they probably are because we paid more attention to the Big Ten. So, we know their weaknesses. Small offensive line, small defensive line, stop their run game. Can Allah beat you? That's the thing. Because they don't get that many explosive plays. So, that's it right there. So, honestly, they probably are. Question number 2. If Ryan Day thought OSU was physical last week, what do you think Ryan Day was thinking watching Michigan pound Nebraska? Probably thinking, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Because he's going to have the problems he had last year. He's still going to have them. Maybe not on defense. That's why I'm very anxious to watch Ohio State versus Maryland because Mike Locksley, he calls good plays. He calls great games. And not only that, they have talent on offense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm anxious to see how Ohio State's defense does against Baby Tua and Mike Locksley calling plays. I'm very anxious to watch that game to see how their defense looks against them. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes he calls some great games and his players just don't execute. You know what I'm saying? So That's really what I want to see, because we still don't know how good their defense is. We still don't know. We just saw Duke hold Notre Dame down. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that Notre Dame offense is that talented, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So we have to see that now in their offense. They can't get short yardage. They can't run and get short yardage consistently against a team like Notre Dame. So it's the same thing with Michigan. You don't get short yardage that easy against us. It hasn't been like that for about 2-3 years since they fired Don Brown. Now you also have those NFL schemes where you got ends dropping out. You got guys blitzing. You got man blitzes. You got zone blitzes. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle as a quarterback. So you ain't even got CJ Stroud no more, who's in the NFL playing well. Playing well. You have Kyle McCord, who's still trying to find his way. He's doing okay, but he's still trying to find his way. But he's going to have to go up against that defense with all those looks that are confusing, all those different blitzes, all those zone blitzes, all this stuff. It's just a lot for a quarterback to consistently read and, move the ball consistently, especially if he doesn't have a run game. So, yeah, I'm sure he's looking like, oh boy. But the defense, I'm still waiting to see their defense. They've played well with who they've played. I'm waiting to see them against Maryland and Penn State also. Teams with more talent on offense. Last question from Jay Marion says, 2021 Aiden was the main leader. 2022 and 2023, Lil Mikey. Who takes that role in 2024? I think JJ, but if he leaves, then I don't know. That's a great question. If JJ leaves, I'm not sure who takes that lead. Honestly, the way it's looking, Donovan's going to be back. I'm not sure how good of a leader Donovan is. I'm not sure. He's been around. He should be a good one, but the way he talks, you don't really want your leader that cocky. Donovan is something else, boy. That's a good question. Let's see who's gonna be around. That knows the culture. I'm not sure who the leader would be. That's a good question, bro. And I honestly don't have the answer. Maybe a guy like Hausman. He hasn't been here long, but I imagine that defense is probably going to be his next year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a Derek Moore. Some of these guys, it's going to have to be one of these younger dudes. It's going to have to be one of these younger dudes that has seen the culture, though, that has been around, but they haven't played that much. They're a little bit younger. Besides that, I don't know. That is a good question, bro. We're going to have to wait and see on that one, honestly, because I have no idea, really. I really don't. I really don't have an idea. Maybe a Will Johnson. Now, okay. I like that. I like that. Okay. Final answer, Will Johnson right now. Because you got a dude that has the work ethic, is going to show up on Saturdays, and, he's seen it. He's seen it. So, he expects to be great, and he hold everybody else accountable. So, I'm going to go with Will Johnson right now. But besides that, I don't know. Honestly, that was a good question. Let's see. Big Brother says, how did MSU lose to Iowa when Cade got injured earlier in the game? I was the most poverty offense in the Big Ten, and we're missing two running backs. Their leading tight end, made wide receiver, and QB. MSU didn't even score an offensive TD. They got a scoop and score. They were trying to clown JJ's interceptions against Bowling Green, but their QB has as many TDs as INTs. They lost because Iowa plays good or great defense, and I don't know who he was, but number 3 was putting together some NFL film for him. You know, he was getting his resume for the NFL ready with that punt return, and then I don't know if it was a pass he caught and took it to the house or what. You know what I'm saying? But I would just plays good defense. It don't matter. I was used to not having a good offense. So you know when you're used to your offense being garbage, defense always like it's on us. It's on us. Don't worry. You can one thing for sure, two things for certain. You can count on us to play defense. So and that's what we gonna do. We ain't got no offense. Y'all can't score. Yeah, we know. Lock them up, boys. Let's do what we do. Let's do what we do. They're ready for that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about Iowa you can always count on. They gonna strap that chin strap up. Y'all ready to hit? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? As a defensive player, I would love to play in their defense. I would love it because it's on us, and they're well coached. And they know their scheme inside and out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to play in Iowa's defense. You know, and that's just what MSU's a dumpster fire, bro. Like, they got players out. They got coaching. Coach got fired. It's just a dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying? Dudes are trying to transfer. Like, that's not a good place to be if you're a player right now. Honestly, I feel kind of bad for some of them, you know. Mel Tucker done got him there, and he whacking it on the phone and done got fired. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be a lead. You're supposed to be a leader of man. Like, come on, bro. Like, bro, come on. Like, you too rich to be doing that. And I ain't even gonna say that. The level you at, bro, like, come on, bro. Over the phone, like, you done lost your job. You making what, $10 million or something a year, and you whacking it on the phone. Like, come on, bro. But it's a dumpster fire. You just imagine you got your parents, you at school, they seeing this, your coach done got fired, he done talked you into coming there, and boy, you know what I'm saying? So MSU is a dumpster fire right now. That's all I can really say. In Iowa, they gonna play some defense. It don't matter what's going on. Cade hurt. We don't care, boy. Let's get it. Let's strap it up and let's go. Appreciate the comment, Slade. The expectation says, should Michigan jump Georgia based off the performance of both teams so far, or is the SEC bias still too much? It's not that it's too much. It's just that the number one team that's usually the champ, they usually have to lose that spot. You know, they usually have to lose that spot. And, you know, that's just how it goes. Even if they look bad, that's just how it goes. They have to lose that spot. You know, even if the only way we'll jump them is if they continue to look like they're looking, and then we blow out Penn State. You know, or, you know, we blow out the ranked teams that we play, the few that we play. Either, you know, Penn State, Ohio State, you know. So that's just what it is. When you've been winning, and we benefit from it too, because, you know, people are mad because we're number 2. But, you know, I said this other day, Michigan and Georgia people can, you got blew out in the playoff. Well, Michigan and Georgia are the only 2 teams to go to the playoff the last 2 years, to both go to the playoff the last 2 years consecutively. Ohio State, y'all didn't go 2021. You know, Bama didn't go 2022. Cincinnati didn't go 2022. TCU didn't go 2021. So, you know, we benefited from it too, from being number 2 right now. You know, we're benefiting we're getting grace because we've dominated for the last 2 years. We've made the playoff the last 2 years. Georgia, back-to-back champ the last 2 years. Nobody else can say that. Ohio State fans can say what they want and talk their stuff. You ain't went to the playoff the last 2 years. I don't care if we got blew out. We was there. Where was y'all at? You wasn't in the playoff. You went last year. You didn't go 2021. 2021, we got blew out. We was in the playoff. Where you was at? You weren't there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else can say that. Bama, yeah, y'all got all those championships. 2022, you wasn't there. You weren't in the playoff. I don't know where you was at. We was in the playoff. Where y'all was at? We didn't see you. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else, Penn State, talking like I got a Penn State fan that that just keeps commenting, y'all gonna lose to Penn State, and y'all gonna lose to Penn State and Ohio State, and y'all gonna lose to Penn State, y'all gonna lose to Nebraska. He just keeps commenting like that's gonna make it true. Boy, I don't care what you say. You think I get on these videos and make these videos and I don't know what I'm talking about? We ain't playing. We got a defense out there, boy. We got a defense that's trustworthy. We blew them out. We'll blow you out. Who your team? You don't never say who your team is. Who your team is. We'll blow them out too. We beat them down. We'll beat you down. What's wrong with you? D-Bo. Let's see. Big Brother says, Michigan is now the only team in college football to win every game by 24 plus. Should we be ranked number one? Georgia has to lose. We don't play anybody so far along in the season. They probably going to play somebody good by that time, you know. So Georgia's either going to have to lose or they're going to have to be continue to play like this while we're blowing out like Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State, you know. That's the only way that's going to happen. 23 Tails, appreciate the comment. He says, long as Donovan can catch, I could care less about him out of the backfield at this point. He is a one-cut back, mostly lined up beside QB on snap, which is not his forte. Yeah, you know, as long as he's catching, you know, he's still contributing. As much as we're talking about him, he's still contributing. You know, he's just not getting those monster games, which he didn't have last year at this point. So we're kind of just going off of him his last 3 games. Well, no, his last 2 games, really. No, his last 2 out of 3 games. Ohio State, Purdue, and then TCU, which he didn't have that good of a game against TCU. So people are just going off of that. You had Zach Smith hyping him up. He's the best running back on the team. Donovan Edwards. And we were trying to tell him Blake is better than Donovan. And all these Michigan fans trying to tell me they're better. He's better than Donovan Edwards. Just watch the film. Just watch the film. Like, bro, you're not watching the team. You watched his 2 best games, Ohio State and Purdue, and now you think he the best running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what are you talking about? You don't see all these plays Blake makes on a consistent basis. But Donovan, yeah, like I was saying earlier, use him in the throw game. I'd use him on punt return. I'd use him on kick return. There's no reason not to. Big games, if not, you know, I'd use him all over the place. Get him his touches. JSJ says, who's got it better than us? Nobody. Big R went there. Night Owl 45 says, who do you believe is the most overrated team in the top 5? How confident are you in us beating Penn State and Ohio State? Most overrated in the top 5? What's the top 5? Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State. Who's the 5th team? Let me look that up real quick. It ain't gonna take long. Florida State. Most overrated. Honestly, I don't know. All of these teams have a reason to be up as high as they are. Even with my hate for Ohio State, I'm going to keep it real. You know, let's just go down it. Georgia, back-to-back champs. You have to beat the champs. You have to beat them. Because when you've won like they've won, you've built up a resiliency of we can play half a game and still beat you. We can turn it on and still win. Yeah, it can bite you in the butt, but, you know, that's just how it goes. We the champs. So, you know, until we lose, y'all shut up. Michigan, you know, same kind of thing. We've ran the Big Ten last 2 years. we've built up some leniency, you know. Oh, they haven't played anybody. Oh, Nebraska's going to test them. Oh, they going to test us? All right, let us test their jaw. Oh, they got knocked out with one punch. That was an easy test. That was a real easy test. What you talking about? Texas, Texas, they beat Bama kind of handily, as I remember. So they kind of deserve that. Texas has to play Oklahoma this week, so we'll find out more about Texas and Oklahoma this week. So that'll be a good one. Ohio State, they scraped it out against Notre Dame, and they're Ohio State. They've been consistently good for so long, so they get some trust in that. Florida State beat Clemson. It was close. They probably should have lost. They also handled LSU. So, their schedule, they've played probably the best schedule right now. So they deserve to be there, even though they struggled with Clemson, probably should have lost, and struggled with Boston College. But this year is strange, so just win in advance. Let's see. Out of the top 10, let's see who else. You got Washington, Oregon, USC, Notre Dame, Alabama. If I have to say anybody, it's probably USC because that defense is horrible. You can't even say it in English. You got to say it in Spanish. It's horrible. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? So USC, that's their biggest weakness. Yeah, you got Caleb and that explosive Lincoln Riley offense, but your defense is horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, Colorado almost came back. Your defenses, and when they were coming back, the defense just lost all confidence. Them dudes looking around, shaking their heads, breathing heavy, like, man, we might lose. We sorry, man, we suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's their biggest weakness. Maybe even Notre Dame. To me, Notre Dame's offense is not that good. That's just what I feel about it. It could turn out that maybe Ohio State and Duke's defenses are just awesome. That's a possibility. I ain't going to say it's not. But to me, their offense is just not that. So we'll find out because Notre Dame and USC play each other. If Notre Dame can't score 25 or 30 on USC's defense, their offense ain't that. Because that defense is horrible. Let's see. Benny Woods 9514 says, why is UM getting hit in the regular season with slants over the middle and can't make the tackle? They are constantly getting beat. I also don't think they run Mullings along with Corum enough. Edwards still a viable runner, but he's small and a better pass catcher. But why doesn't he get enough pass catches? Why? For some reason, Jesse Minter's playing a lot of off coverage. You're not seeing a lot of tight man defense for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. You're not seeing that, but you're not seeing that much tight man defense, which you would on slants and stuff. You want to be playing up tight because if a guy knows how to run a slant well, then he knows, okay, the guy's 6 yards off. You run about 3 yards, 4 yards. Or if he's 8 yards off, let's say he's 8 yards off because we do that a lot. 8, even 10 now for some reason. Okay, he's 8, 9 yards off. I run my slant 7 yards to where I'm far enough away. I'm far enough away where he can't get his hands on me, but he still has to. He reacts. You know what I'm saying? He can't really do anything because he's gonna start his back pedal, and I'm gonna run my slant before I even get to him. That's how you're supposed to run that type of stuff. If he's 9 yards, I make my break at 7 yards, so he can't even get his hands on me or anything. You know what I'm saying? So when I make my break, if the quarterback throws it on time, I can catch and run. If he throws it on time and it's accurate, I can catch and run. Sometimes you'll see guys run slants, and let's say the corner's 5 yards off, and he runs 5 yards and then makes his break, which allows the corner to react to it and make a play on it. You're supposed to run. You make your break before you get to the dude on a slant, you know? So if you're running it crisp and you explode through the break and the quarterback throws it right, now you can catch and run. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of it. For some reason, we're just playing off way too far. I'm not sure why he's doing that, you know? Not sure. Maybe it's because Josh Wallace is scared. He's scared Josh Wallace gonna get burnt. But I saw him doing it with Will Johnson too. We got lucky; it got tipped. Somebody brought that up on my video yesterday. I'm not sure why we're playing so soft in coverage. I'm not sure. I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like it, especially not when we play Ohio State. You know, so I'd like to see us start playing more man coverage. But I think right now, Jesse Minter is just trying things. That's honestly what I think he's doing, is trying a lot of different schemes and coverages. Trying a lot of different coverages, whether it's zone, you got defensive linemen dropping out and things like that. Because we got some new dudes on this team. You know, whether it's Hausman, whether it's Josiah Stewart, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Kenneth Grant playing a bigger role, you know, Josh Wallace new, you know, Quinn Johnson playing way more. So I think he's just trying things to get guys reps running this stuff in game. But I definitely want to see more tight man coverage. But that's what I'm seeing. We're playing off way too much, and guys are running good routes against it on those slants and RPOs. And Mullins getting more carries than Donovan. I'd see what he does next game against Minnesota. If he's toting it like he was against Nebraska, let him get those carries and just use Donovan more in the pass game. You know what I'm saying? And with Donovan, I'd like to see some stretch plays. I'd like to see some stretches, some tosses, things like that, you know, also for him. Brandon Abbott says, what's the deal with Alex Orji? Alex Orji's hurt right now. He's let me see what it says. I believe it says questionable for next game. Let's see. Yeah. He's got an undisclosed injury right now. So he was inactive yesterday. No, that was for, let me see. Yeah, he's been inactive since Rutgers. So hopefully it's just an injury. Hopefully it's not him trying to get his way out of the door, you know. But that's how it goes. So we'll have to wait and find out. Ray Johnson, last question. Do you think Maryland has a chance to upset the Ohio State Buckeyes? I think they might. Because Maryland played them tight last year. You know, it was way tighter than the score. They got a touchdown at the end off of a scoop and score or something, you know. But Maryland was down like 3, I want to say, with like 30 or 40 seconds to try to go to the length of the field or whatever to try to score. But I think I'm anxious, and I brought this up earlier. I'm anxious to see Maryland's offense against Ohio State's defense, because I'm trying to see how good Ohio State's defense really is. And honestly, Maryland's got is a step up in talent. It's not as much as Notre Dame, but they probably got more offensive talent than Notre Dame, you know. So that's a step up in athleticism and probably speed on offense, you know. And Ohio State's offense hasn't just been that explosive, you know. They had a few. They blew out Western Kentucky, but it's Western Kentucky. They struggled against Notre Dame, so this is kind of in between. If Mike Locksley can call some good plays and Tua's out there cooking, because Tua, and this is my point on this. Honestly, I'm ready. I want Tua. I think he's going to get a big time upset on somebody, and I'd rather it be Ohio State. I want him to go and get it out the way. I want him to go and get it out the way. You go and get that out the way on them. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to get a big time upset on somebody because he's hungry. He's hungry. He's a dog. If he can stay healthy, you know what I'm saying? Baby Tua is a dog. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to get an upset on somebody with, you know, Mike Loxley's great play calling. But, you know, I'm not sure if they can. I haven't watched Maryland. Maryland's been rolling teams. I haven't watched them. From what I've seen, they've been rolling teams. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. It's going to be a good test. It's a good test. You know, all our tests are our last 3 games. Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what Ohio State has, you know, as a team. Kyle McCord coming off that big time win at Notre Dame. You know, he's going up against a Big Ten competition. So they're familiar with Ohio State and things that Ryan Day likes to do. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to see. I'm anxious for that game. You know, can they pull it off? I don't know. We'll have to find out, you know, but I think they can keep it close. Definitely. You know, if Ohio State's defense shuts down Notre Dame, then their defense might be for real. I mean, not Notre Dame. If they shut down Maryland, their defense might be for real. I'm just going to be 100. If they shut down Maryland, their defense might be for real this year. And Jim Knowles has gotten these boys to take that next step. So we're going to have to wait and see, you know. But that's all the questions I got, you know. We got Minnesota this week, you know. You hear that squeaky bike coming around the bend. We going back home. I think we're at home. No, it's in Minnesota. So that's that squeaky bike. That squeaky bike coming around the bend, you know, we pulling up in Minnesota. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? You want some of this too? You want some of this too? PJ Fleck? No. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we coming into town. We beat Nebraska down. We'll beat you down too, Gophers. And this is the little brown jug. So we want my jug. We want our jug back. That's my jug, punk. Let me stop with these Friday references. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I appreciate you. As y'all can see, I'm enjoying this season right now. Enjoy the good times, y'all. Because I know people worry about, well, what can we be? What happens when we play Penn State? What happens? I ain't worried about it right now, really. You know what I'm saying? The team is playing well. You know, I'm always somewhat worried about it. But I'm not going to worry myself to death about games that far down the line. You know, I'm going to speak on it and stuff, but I trust the team. The team gives me so much confidence. I'm just like, you know, if they beat us, They just played a hell of a game. You know what I'm saying? If they beat us, they probably deserve to beat us that day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just enjoying this. That's why y'all see me so lighthearted on here, just, you know, because I got trust in the staff and the players now. So I'm just, you know, we just having fun. We having a blast. So, you know, that's what it is. You know, talk about Ohio State, you know, troll them. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.
It's great to be a Michigan Warrior.